Hey folks, hope you're doing good. Got to the end of the week again already. We've had a great week on the channel. We've had a right mixed bag though. I'm just looking through. We've had post-rock, metal, sludge and doom, progressive metal, industrial trap, hardcore and grindcore. So we've really had a bunch of stuff that we don't normally have on the channel this week. But some great bands, the post-rock bands yesterday. Superb. So yeah, we got some more rock to check out today. We got our friends back on the show, Celeb Car Crash. This is a new one that came out in October last year. Fairly new now. Never going to get actually brand new tracks unless we made an exclusive submission, because my queue's 3 months long. So these were the new when I added them to the queue at least. This track's called Disconnect. This is Gonna Hurt. It's got an official music vid, so let's give it a spin. I've just noticed my hair is super wild at the back. It's a lockdown haircut. I need to get a haircut. It's pretty bad. I'm sure he wants to eat that. Yeah. What's done is done, and I'm here with you. Can't you ruin our soul? Keep breaking the mainstream. Begin to realize everything is a lie. Disconnected from our world. This is gonna hurt. Disconnected from our world. This is gonna hurt. Great. I think these guys are great. Just as good as any other band doing this kind of music, in my opinion. Rocky, grungy, alternative-y. Reminds me of a lot I've said before, of kind of early Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age, those kind of bands. And I think this band is just as good as those bands as well. They've got the right sound, they've got the right mix, you can hear all the members of the band, you can hear the bass nicely, cool drumming, I think the vocals got a great tone, nicely layered up, and it sounds good when it's layered up as well, gives it a nice thickness and all of that. So yeah, I think these guys are just as good as any band going, pretty much. Let's check out this next band. This is Perceived. The track is Not To Be. It's an official streaming video, so let's check it out. Bands we got today are pretty grungy, and you know I've been wanting to check out more grungy bands this year, get back to my roots of Nirvana-y type stuff and grungy bands. So cool.
I may be alive, don't mean I wanna be. I'm hollowed inside, don't wanna feel anything. I'm constantly trying to find a way to change. I'm hiding behind all the fears I cannot face. I may be alone, don't mean I wanna be.
Yeah, that came in.
Don't wanna be here.
Yeah.
Don't want to be. Don't wanna be here. Don't want to.
Heavy. Nice wide mix. That really came in. Yeah, that bass.
You may be alive, don't mean you wanna be. Would you rather die instead of feeling misery? Are you waiting for someone to save you? It won't ever happen because of the things that you do. You may be alone, don't mean you wanna be. Don't wanna be here. Don't want to be. Don't wanna be here. Don't want to.
Yeah, it's got a real punch to it. Cool. A lot of dynamics to this track. Nice chilled out acoustic-y guitar-y bits with singing, and then when that distorted guitar and the drums come in, man, really comes in with a punch and a thickness and a chunky sound. Dope. I enjoyed that a lot. Not often that you get two solos in any song, let alone a grungy, alt-rocky kind of song. They're not known for their solos particularly, so that was nice to get that guitar in this kind of track as well. But yeah, the dynamics in this track were full on. And I always talk about dynamics in the music and changing up the cymbals and all of that stuff to create a shift, to go up and down the gears and all of that type of stuff. And these guys really did that. But they went from gear 1 to gear 5 straight away, short shifted that all the way. But it really came in heavy with that heavy guitar and drums when it came in. And the drums are a real punchiness to them, really hit hard, that did. And then pulled it right back to the guitar in again. So a really nice dynamic shift within this track between the verse and the chorus. Very cool. Because we've had a ton of bands that There's no shift between the verse and the chorus. We had a band on this week even where the drum beat was the same all the way through. And what that meant was that there was really very little ups and downs and gear changes within the song. And that last band really showed how you can go from gear 1 to gear 5 in just, one section. Let's finish off with this last band. This is Walking with Crows. The track is called The Stackhouse. Again, this is from October. All these guys got added to the queue in October, and they're only just coming down now, and we're just about to hit February. So that shows how long the queue is. Let's check them out. Bit of bass. It just shows as well, change on that big washy cymbal to the tight hi-hat. Totally changes the dynamic of the track. Yeah. Track showing it perfectly. How just changing the cymbal changes the whole sound of the track. He's on the big washy cymbal, he's doing the same drum beat on the snare and the kick. It just totally changes the sound, and you just kind of get washed around in that sound. You really hear the bass in this mix as well. Doing nice little runs. You're all alone with nothing to gain. You need cool. Nice vocal layering. Building up nicely. Cool. That's definitely not the cymbal he's using right now. Yeah, this track's got a lot of different edges to it, a lot of different rock edges to it. It's got a psychedelicness to it, it's got a grooviness to it, it's got a rock and rolliness to it. Yeah, it's really cool. Hear that bass the whole time, doing runs, sliding up and down the neck and doing runs in between the riffs, and you can always hear it in the mix. Great. That could be said quite a lot though for our rock friends, you know, when there's less distortion on the guitars and it's not just super thick chunky guitars. There's a lot more room in the mix for the bass and the mids of the bass and the kind of more tonal stuff of it. So yeah, you can get away with it a lot more in the rock, but still you got to mix it right. You still got to get the right sound. You got to have a good tone on the bass. I think all the bands today that we've had on have been great. I've really enjoyed them. A nice grungy edge to all of the rock, an alternative, you know, kind of, alternative-y edge to it. Just, you know, not straight up rock and roll. Although that last band, they had a lot going on. They had rock and roll, they had a grunginess, they had a grooviness to them as well. There was a psychedelic edge to that one. So that was a mixture of a lot of different kind of rocky sounds coming into one, but just had a great energy. I thought all the bands today had a really cool energy. We've moved around in the track really nicely. You know, we started out with some kind of arpeggio, plucked guitar, acoustic guitar stuff, and then brought in a heavier section or changed it up on the cymbals. That last band really demonstrated well how, and I talk about it all the time, you're probably bored of me saying it now, but just shows how changing from the hi-hat, a closed hi-hat, to a big washy cymbal, that's all you need to do, and you'll change the dynamic of the song. You'll change how it sounds and how it feels from one section to the next. So if your verse is on the closed hi-hat, you'll have a nice tight feeling, and then all you need to do is change it onto a big washy cymbal, and you'll open the track out. You'll wash out the sound. You'll bring in a high-end washy sound that you can kind of move about with as the listener, and it just totally changes the track. You can be doing exactly the same drum beat on the snare and the kick, but just changing that up moves the listener from one section to the next and just gives you it separates one section from the other, and it gives it a dynamic shift. As I say, you're either going up or down a gear is one way to think about it. And yeah, it was great. And I thought as well in this last one, where they had that coming in with the two different vocals on either side and building up and building up and building up and getting a bit more kind of powerful as it goes on. That was great. That really sounded great. That was my favorite section of that track. Very cool. So we want to listen to more of this grungy stuff this year, so what I'm probably going to be doing is every other Sunday we'll do punk one week, one Sunday, and then rock the next Sunday. And the rocky ones I'm going to try and be more to the grungy, alternative rock kind of stuff, rather than kind of just straight up rock, because I like rock, but I really like grungy rock. That's the type of rock that I think is the best. And I want to hear this modern grunge, I'm very familiar with late 90s grunge, but then I just totally fell off. I didn't listen to any of it. And it's only been in this last year that we've been checking out more rocky bands, grungy bands, modern grunge. And yeah, there's a lot of the old stuff in there. You recognize the tones on the guitars, some of the riffs, all the power chords and all of that type of stuff, but they are bringing a new edge to it. It's also got a nice modern mix, which just makes it sound different, makes it sound modern. It's got a clarity to it, and the mixes are nice and wide and pumped through a limiter and all that good stuff. So it sounds different in a modern way, but it's still got a lot of the nice things about old grunge still within the flavor. But I just want to hear more of this stuff. I wouldn't say I've heard enough bands yet, kind of modern grunge bands, to really know what modern grunge is all about. But hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have a good idea, because we're going to be getting a lot more bands on the show. So there you go. I hope you've had a good week. Hope you've had a good weekend. Enjoyed the bands that have been on the show. I particularly recommend yesterday's show, which was the post-rock show, because all three of those bands were superb. And if you like that kind of music, that's three bands to get straight into. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for the grind. Have a good one. Bye.